standalone, well, let me get to the first part of that. As far as us figuring it out, it's still gonna take time because if everybody was on the same page, you know, we'd have a whole lot less of that for us to be able to stand together and watch out for one another. That should be something that we instinctively should do. If something is going on with one of us and we see it's not right, I ain't saying go out here and get killed because the cops are doing wrong, but we should step in and more than have something to say, especially being able to video things. So as far as the Alabama Brawl goes, they trickled in. They stepped up and they trickled in, but it's going to have to happen on a larger scale. It's a must. And for it to happen on a larger scale, then I could say that we're really making a difference.
What made the Brawl a standalone event, in my mind, in some respects, was that we're not going to take it. Because usually we're shown taking it. And one of the things that stands out is that young brother that jumped off the boat and swam. He did not have Olympian swimming skills, but he risked his life to get over there and help. It was something about that really stood out. The horrible thing was that those people, that party that was illegally parking there, what was that? What did they have?
Pontoon boat?
A pontoon, whatever it is, and that area is reserved for the actual, the big ship that was coming. They had done that before. They had acted like that before. And true to form, they're cowardly. They only did that because they had numbers. When the numbers changed, their demeanor changed. And people, they kind of, that's a playbook on when the stuff stops. When does the bully stop? When does the bully stop bullying? And I was talking to brother about this other day. He boxes and stuff, and I saw him in the gym. We had a conversation because it's funny. I'm older than him, but we've had similar childhood experiences. There's always that experience as a child where you're scared, but you got to take the guy home. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't come from the air. I never ran home, and no matter what it was, and I was bigger than most of the kids, so it was somewhat advantage. But yet and still, there were some kids, and everything ain't size. There were some kids smaller than me. They had some hands. And those kids had some hands. I mean, one white boy I fought. Shoot, I fought him 3 times. I never beat him. He was showing me he was a little older. I think he was stronger, but I wasn't giving up. But I took some L's, and that was rare for me. But no, we weren't running home and getting parents and stuff, and we all in the street. Kids handle kids stuff. I mean, that's just how, we come up. But we were encouraged to defend ourselves. We weren't taking, we didn't take a lot of L's. And when you fight a bully, just the resistance. You don't have to necessarily beat a bully. The fact that 9 times out of 10, the fact that you resist it can bring an end to it a lot of times. And then what they'll do is just like a person stealing cars. If somebody wants to steal your car, the club is not, if they really want to steal, the club's not going to stop them. But what the club is saying is just go to the next car. That's the one thing, one less thing you got to break. It's a deterrent. That's all it is. That's all it is. And so, them coming out, that's when we face up like that, when we man up like that, that's a deterrent. Now everybody played their roles. The ship captain, the captain of that ship was a white man. And initially, he said, obviously it was a race event, because that gentleman that was trying to get them moved pontoon, he was his assistant or something like that. Is that correct?
He was a dock worker.
But he was somebody that helps the ship. He's with them. He's almost like a shipmate, almost like a second or third in command. They have a relationship.
Yeah, they have a professional
and
relationship.
The white man's comments were totally appropriate. He was defending him. He said it was a racially motivated attack. When authorities got to him, he later said, they were just some, now you taking the race out of it and saying, they were just some, kind of like some bad actors, and, you know, they were just incorrigible, this and that, so on and so forth. Okay, so now you have a black mayor, there's a black mayor in Montgomery, and a black police chief. The black police chief said he didn't see it as a racial event. The black mayor he said something similar. This black mayor was recorded before I think he's on a second term, he's recorded before his election saying, I don't need the black vote to get in.
Don't ask me, I can come smile. I don't have to do no work. Okay? I don't have to do no work systemically, and I'm going to be fine. And guess what? I will always get 38 to 45% of the white vote. If I get 30 to 45% of the white vote, I don't have to get the black vote like I just passed election. I win. You got black city, that's great. You can have all black everything. And guess what? You won't have green nothing.
He was recorded saying the black mayor of Montgomery said, I do not need the black vote to get. That was messaging to the whites. Like, I don't even care about them. It doesn't matter. And so, that's what I mean by just putting a black person in a position. That don't mean that they represent us or they're going to do what's in our best interest. Guess who they have to be concerned with? They have to be concerned with the Chamber of Commerce. Because not too long after that, some of those officials, they discussed the incident, they met with the Alabama Chamber of Commerce. When we talk about the real evil, you can focus on the front-facing people, the news anchor, the analyst, the politician. But what about the people that puts the battery in their back? What about the people that gives them the juice? When are we going to focus on them? When we start doing that, we're going to get somewhere. Because these bootlicking politicians, that black mayor, that black police chief, we can never depend on them. They took race right out of it. But you know what? Frederick Douglass said power never concedes without a demand. And when those folks showed up, for all of us, there was emotion to look at that and to see us come and defend that brother. And that's when they had to back down. They didn't really have any choice. They were called anyway. They're only doing that because it was just him. When they see that you're in there together, there's powers in numbers, Bob. And a lot of times, you don't even have to have more numbers. You just have to have enough. Enough. It's called resistance. And so that's what we believe in. Because when you don't resist, you just empower them to continue.
Well, in our culture right now, at least in America, either you are a hero or you're a victim, and a lot of times it's the narrative. You don't know what the situation. Are you going to step in? Some people, like the gentleman who flipped off a boat, he saw an injustice and he went to help by any means necessary, even if he's got to get wet. And that man was a hero. The man who fended off the drunken pontoon boat people, he was a hero. Did it need to happen? No. But is it going to happen again and again? Yes, because we're never going to get along. And you add alcohol or drugs or anything else into the mix, and there's always going to be a fight. Because people either don't want to accept their place in the social order or institute their own. Even at the cost of somebody else or something bigger than them. Like, say, a riverboat. Move out of the damn way. But, hey, you get a little liquor in you, you'll fight an elephant if you have to. Or if it's nearby. Just because of stupidity. Now, on that other note, the attack on women or anybody, and that also goes to the recent attack on the elderly, especially in like New York and whatnot. A lot of that, I think, is a result of misinformation. Misinformation and mental health that hasn't been addressed in a very long time. At least it's the Reagan era, because Once they cut all of our welfare system, oh, sorry, not our welfare systems, the welfare systems for taking care of the mentally ill and providing for them, and we don't have what was it? We got Kingswood. We don't have a couple of other places that used to exist. Northville, that used to exist just to assist and keep these people with the correct level of care that they need. Now they're just out there in the wild with the homeless and the indigent, and plus you got the drugs and their regular situations, and frankly the mentality of World Star and the spin-off clones of it, that as long as they act up on film, it's okay, right? No, it's never okay, because there's always going to be consequences and repercussions. Now, do we need to step up and see if somebody's getting assaulted? Anybody's getting assaulted. You, me, a little kid, a woman, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. People need to step up. At least separate them and say, okay, what's really going on here? What's the real issue? Because otherwise, you're just gonna start assaulting somebody that may have been an innocent in this whole situation, or just may have been walking down the street. I mean, they just convicted one lady in New York who got drunk because she got kicked out of a park, so she decided to push over a little old lady. Pushed her over. Result of her injury, she went into a coma and died. And all she was doing was walking. Hurt no one, caused no injury, wasn't even involved. But I got to take out my anger somewhere. And that woman that went to jail for 8 years had no remorse. No remorse. That type of situation needs to stop. We need to protect our elderly. We need to protect the weak. We need to protect the innocent. We need to protect everyone from blinding rage and hatred. We're all here. There's no reason for us to fight. I understand there's a lot more of us than there used to be, but there's no reason to fight for it. We can get along. We just don't want to.